Please join me in welcoming Hendrik to the stage.
Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you had great lunchtime with a good number of inspiring, discussions around AR and maybe the present and the future. What I like to do now is I want to show you how we bring kind of superpower to the workers on the shop floors using smart glass technology and on top Ubimax wearable computing solutions and the technology stack behind that. Before I'm doing this, however, I'd like to take you on a short journey into the history of wearables and smart glasses. And if you look back into the history, it's like we started off in the early 80s, right? The early 80s, that was the time where a small group of, at that time, PhD students at MIT kind of sat together, created the paradigm of wearable computing. And as you can see, one of the first and critical components were smart glasses. We have guys in the team, the guy in the back, Steve Mann, now is helping Meta to prepare and bring great products. The guy in the front, Seth Starner, is one of the key players behind Google Glass. And the technology matured, obviously, over time. The technology kind of miniaturized over time. But end 90s, it was still kind of what I call the cyborg area, right? But things, like always in technology, evolve over time and get better and better. So that in the 2000s and basically around 2008, we were in a situation where the technology matured quite substantially to an almost sufficient level. Enterprises expressed a hell lot of interest in using this technology because they had the feeling this brings them to the next level. But there was one problem, and that was there was no manufacturer at that time that could fill this tiny last gap that was missing. And that was one reason was many of them were simply too early and went bankrupt. But luckily, 5 years later, we all know two companies kind of took the risk and brought two incredible devices to the market, with the glass device coming from Google and the M100 coming from Vuzix, especially the latter geared towards enterprise. That was 2013, and after that, it got damn fast. The entire process and evolution was that fast that early adopters like DHL, for example, took the technology, deployed it as one of the very first in the industry to their logistics operations, doing order picking with the technology 8 hours, 24/7. Where are we now? 2016, Ubimax has released as one of the first an entire suite of applications geared towards smart glass enterprise use. The suite basically comprises today 4 core solutions, ranging from logistics over manufacturing and quality control, down to field service and maintenance applications, and remote assistance, literally the Skype for smart glasses. With these 4 applications, industry processes are basically covered from start to the beginning. The entire value chain can be covered. And what I like to do next is showing you how we give the power using smart glasses and these kind of solutions to enterprises and what they do today already. This is clearly beyond the pilot stage and definitely beyond POC. This is real applications, 8-hour shifts, 24/7, fully productive. The first one I like to start with is an application that we were deploying in the logistics space using our XPIC application for Samsung. Samsung has the kind of standard problem in their European spare parts center. They're equipped with, RF guns to read barcodes and verify the entire process of, order picking. They came to us because there was one challenge they couldn't come behind. And that was, they have, year over year, they have this new targets in terms of performance optimization, and they couldn't simply meet management expectations. So they teamed up with Ubimax, and I'd like to show you a short video of how it looks today at Samsung warehouses. As I said, this is all real. There's no fake in, no cool animations. This is real stuff, how we use not only smart glasses, as you can see here. Smart glasses are a great thing, but combining this with other wearables like smartwatches, external barcode scanners in this case, this is really what makes up the entire solution and what brings value to the enterprises. And the value they are getting is quite substantial. Samsung, deploying this solution, got 22% better in order picking, which is huge for the industry. They're typically trying to go 1%, 1.5%, 2% year over year. But not only that, they didn't only get faster, they also got better in terms of error rate, which obviously is critical if you have very cost-intensive components. You want to make sure that the right items go to the right buyers. And what they did is they basically decided to go full scale. So the entire European spare parts operation by today is entirely run using smart glasses. Not any barcode scanning technology except for smart glasses and the handheld scanners are available there. The second example I want to show you is from the assembly line and quality assurance space. This is an organization that does, they're automotive supplier, they're assembling subcomponents for the automotives directly to the assembly line. And the current process they are facing is simply paper-based, step-by-step instructions mounted somewhere on the walls. And obviously, there is a challenge with that approach. It's not flexible. It involves relatively long training periods, and there is no real-time control over the quality that they are producing and assembling. We teamed up and deployed the XMake solution using smart glasses, and this is a great example how you can use smart glasses in the IoT space, connect the smart glasses with the PLCs, with all the sensors in the assembly line, and achieve as one of the benefits for the actual workers that there is no need for explicit interaction anymore. They are simply getting the smart glass technology as an assistance. So the technology guides them through step-by-step processes, verifies and alerts if there are errors, and everything without any interaction required by the user. Obviously, this resulted in a significant reduction of error rate, which is critical to the automotive industry in general or the ecosystem around them. But not only that, it was especially that they could significantly reduce training time for new employees coming into the production lines down to a couple of minutes, basically, instead of days or weeks for that. And also, very important to mention is, those organizations that are the early adopters and that kind of took the risk early on, those are the ones that have now competitive advantage over their competitors, right? Because they are now in the position that they can pitch the stuff at the automotives and can set themselves apart from basically the entire industry. But there's even more applications. Let's look into remote assistance, right? The Skype for smart glasses. We teamed up with a German organization in the smart building industry. So they're delivering huge components for building automation and these kind of things. And what they currently have as state-of-the-art process is, again, something very down to earth, not much tech involved. It is really, they have classical paper-based manuals and they have their phones. That's it. And whenever there's a problem, these two things need to be sufficient in order to fix the problem. And if this is not sufficient, they need to call support, kind of call help, and then somebody, an expert, needs to probably fly in, and that obviously takes a hell lot of time. So this is one of the challenges, and what we took with them to the next level in terms of how they maintain and support their solutions is the X Assist solution, which basically helps them to guide through the entire process. What you can see is people log into the system, they get basically this you see what I see notion with the smart glass there. And obviously, the key player now sits somewhere in the world. Somebody that has the expertise, maybe even a team of people that can work together to fix that issue. And there are a couple of functionalities, obviously, that they can use. They can, give them text information when it comes, for example, to cumbersome procedures like entering serial numbers or comparing serial numbers, these kind of down-to-earth things, or AR tracking in terms of that they can point at a certain element in the real world, and the marker keeps track on this, so image tracking in this case. And obviously, the benefits that they are getting here is a substantial increase in service efficiency. This is almost given just by the connectivity and what the technology gives them in terms of capabilities. And then the second thing is they substantially achieve a reduced downtime of all the machines, and that is especially the reason why for the enterprise space, they actually don't care so much about the coolness of the technology. They care about the business case behind it, right? And if you can calculate the business case, they will let in the technology into their enterprise environments. And that is the reason why, especially this remote assistance scenarios, I mean, there are a couple of people out there in the field that have great products around remote support, and the reason is this is probably the most mature use case right now using the existing smart glass technology and capabilities behind. What are the results in general? So if you deploy smart glasses and give all the power that the technology can bring you to them, you basically earn benefits in 4 different areas. The one is obviously you're getting faster with the tech, right? This has to do with, it's simply hands-free. You can use visuals instead of text because, pictures say more than 1,000 words. All these kind of things lead to the point or to the fact that speed is increasing. The second is you can, monitor situations and can help people to avoid errors. Nobody wants to do errors, but it simply happens in day-to-day operations in the enterprises. The technology, again, helps you, especially the capabilities around connecting this to IoT objects, helps them also because they don't need to interact with the system. It's just the information is there. The context is available to the system, and the system simply knows what's going on. The third thing actually is greater flexibility. It basically comes from the variable computing technology and, for example, how the technology stack is designed around those components. And that is, you have all the technology basically worn on body, so no need to start deploying these kind of solutions, but with lots and lots of complex installations that you need to do before you actually enter the shop floor and can bring the solutions to the workers. The only thing that the variable computing solutions require is basically connectivity, Wi-Fi infrastructure, and the good thing is this is typically always there already. And then there's one final thing, and actually, to me, this is one of the most important and key learnings we took over the last 4 to 5 years when dealing with this kind of technology. And that is, when you bring in smart glass technology, you simply make the people happier, right? The people are really enjoying, not only enjoying working with the latest and the greatest technology, because everybody is used to use the smartphones on a daily basis. Yes, they love to deal with high tech kind of, but the entire space around the smart glasses, the flexibility that you get as worker compared to the as-is scenarios is so much better that in many of the use cases we're deploying applications into with enterprises, we hear very often the statement, I never want to go back to the former technology. I want to stick to this technology, even though I know this is just the beginning, right? But the technology is ready today that it can deliver tangible benefits to the shop floor workers, because you have to keep in mind, they are typically not in contact with any kind of computer technology at the moment. And therefore, it's such a big plus for them. And now, if you ask yourself, if you're not from the enterprise and you want to start with the smart glass kind of technology and want to deploy and work on these kind of scenarios, the question is, how can you start? And here is what Ubimax kind of provides. What we have is, we have an open architecture, so the entire solution suite is ready to deploy. It comes with a standardized set of, enterprise processes. However, it is not closed shop. It is open. It is open for you guys. It is open for the partner ecosystem. So you can decide whether, for example, you're interested in just selling the stuff, or if you want to be implementation partner only, basically taking the existing software, doing customizations like you, for example, could also do for an SAP system. Or if you want to go further, maybe as the next step, if you want to be value-added partner and want to bring add-ons, specific things on top of the existing solution scenarios and on top of the existing and deployable solutions. Or sooner than later, you maybe want to do something entirely different. And that is also doable, because what we will do pretty soon is we will open up the entire variable computing platform, how we call it, that sits underneath our solution stack and kind of powers all the different solutions. We will open that up to partners, provide you SDKs so that you can go on your own to whatever use case and specific challenge you want to solve for your enterprise customers. And what we give you with the entire application suite and the solution stack is, we take away the burden of managing all the different hardware components. The entire stack is entirely device agnostic. It can be run, on the standard glass and monocular devices, but it can also be run on, HoloLens, smartwatches, on all these kind of things. And one thing that is also important when you're dealing with enterprises, you need to have backend integration. And this is also what kind of comes for free as standard components that we developed. It integrates with SAP in the warehouse and logistics space. It integrates with the top tier WMS management system providers right away. A little bit of configuration obviously is always needed, but that's it. And then you can get started and can evolve maybe from doing implementations, adding add-ons to the existing solutions, all the way through creating your own applications for the enterprise space. That is what is available today. We have a booth. Check it out. There are a couple of demos that we brought with us. It's worth trying them. And I think the guys at the booth are happy to assist you and discuss with you the different opportunities that we're having for enterprise end customers, but especially also for the ecosystem around partner engagements. Thank you so much for having me, and that's it. If you want to if you want to stop by at our offices, we're present in Germany, in the north, but also in Frankfurt, and there is an office also in the States in Atlanta. Thank you for your attention. Hope to see you at our booth. Thank you.